This has been the absolute worst rabbit breeding season I've ever had. Not a single litter all season long. I'm going to tell you all about it and what I'm doing about it next. Hey guys, welcome back to another Slightly Rednecked video. Again, my name is Chris. If you're not familiar with this channel, I help you to produce your own meat, eggs, and vegetables from your backyard, your balcony, your deck, your garage, or heck, even a spare room in your house if that's the way you want to do it. Now, as I said, this has been the worst rabbit breeding season I've ever had. Haven't had a single litter yet. If you guys have been watching my channel, you probably remember I kicked off the season by breeding my California buck to my New Zealand Flemish cross doe. Now she's a first-time mom. She's never had babies before, and she did go ahead and kindle, but she only had 2 babies, and both of them ended up dying. I'm chalking that up to first-time mother experience. Not the low litter count necessarily, but the fact that she didn't take care of them. A couple of reasons for that, really. She's a first-time mom. She ended up having them in the nest box. She did look like she was taking care of them, but a lot of times whenever rabbits have those really low litter counts, it doesn't stimulate them to produce enough milk, so they just don't do a good job of taking care of them, and that's what I'm kind of chalking that up to. The low litter count, though, that's usually not a problem you have with a first-time doe, so I'm a little surprised by that. I'm going to give her another chance, see if she does better, and this, my further experience makes me think it's probably not her fault, because the next thing I did was I bred my California buck to my silver Fox Doe. Now that's a proven doe and a proven buck. They've bred before and produced big litters. She's done a good job of taking care of them. She was receptive. I got 3 good fall-offs. Everything looked good, but 30 days later, no babies whatsoever. So now I'm going back to looking at, it's probably my buck. And I did a little bit of math. That's not usually the first place I go. Usually it's the doe. It's what I'm looking at as being not fertile, but I did a little bit of math and figured out, my buck's going on about 4.5, almost 5 years old. And that's really about all you're going to get out of most bucks. At about 5 years old, they're usually done breeding. They're usually just not fertile anymore. So I think that's probably the case with my buck. And sad to say, he's been a good rabbit. He's been with me for a while, produced a lot of litters for me. Easy to handle, very affectionate, likes the attention. I hate to see him go, but I think his time in rabbit breeding is done, and I just can't stand to, can't really afford to feed out a rabbit that's not producing for me. So he's going to go. So you may be asking, where's he going to go? Don't worry, I'm not going to eat this rabbit. He's I could, and I'm not going to hold it against you if that's what you choose to do with yours. But for me, he's done a good job for me. And like I said, he's got such a great temperament that I'm probably not going to eat him. I'm going to offer him up for free. Just put him on Craigslist, see if I can find somebody that wants a pet rabbit. So in the meantime, I got a new rabbit. My new California buck over here on the side. I don't know if you guys can see him. Let me bring it over a little bit closer. All right, so here's my new buck, my new California buck. Looks a lot like the other California buck I've got. A little bit lighter tips on his ears. Not quite the exact same, but he's a California, so they'll all look pretty close to the same. Kind of lucked out when I got this guy. I'll tell you the story about this. The guy that I got him from was getting out of FFA. He had an FFA project for his grandson, and they were finishing it up and getting out of it. And he had a New Zealand white buck that he was posted for sale. 6 months old, right at breeding age. Good choice for a meat rabbit. A New Zealand white, 6 months old. You're going to get a long time out of that rabbit. And he's a purebred New Zealand white, FFA. Should be good breeding stock. So I decided I'm going to take that rabbit. So I go out there to meet the guy. He takes me out to his rabbitry, and he's got several cages set up, several rabbits back there. And shows me the buck that I'm going to get. He was a little bit small. He wasn't nearly as big as I'd like him to be for a New Zealand white. He was probably only about 7-8 pounds. Just not quite big. Now, he was only 6 months old. He's still got some time. He's going to fill out a little bit more. So I decided, you know what? I need a breeder. I need a buck. This is a purebred, a New Zealand white. I'll go ahead and take him. So I got him in the pet carrier. I paid the guy, and then just stood around there and talked to him for a few minutes, kind of built some rapport with the guy. And, real friendly guy. He was showing me around all his other rabbits, telling me a little bit about him, where he got them from, all this stuff. And then I see this buck sitting over in one of the cages, and I said, that's a pretty good looking buck. That's a pretty good sized buck for a California. He said, yeah, he's a pretty good buck. He's almost a year old, not quite. And I said, well, he looks like a good buck. He said, he's done a good job for me so far, but I'm downsizing. I'm probably going to go ahead and get rid of him too. I said, really, you are? And he said, yeah. I said, well, I tell you what, would you switch him out? Would you let me take this one instead of the New Zealand white? He said, yeah, I'll do that for you. So I switched him out. I put that New Zealand white back in his cage and grabbed this California buck. That's how I ended up with him. So it just goes to show, build a little bit of rapport, be friendly, and sometimes you can end up with a better deal than what you had originally anticipated. Worked out well for him, worked out well for me, so hey, we're both happy. All right, so here's my plan for breeding today. I'm going to breed my old buck to my Flemish cross New Zealand white, well, Flemish New Zealand white cross doe. They bred before, she had babies, but again, it was only 2. She didn't take care of them, but again, first time mom. So I'm gonna try breeding them again. And then I'm gonna breed my new buck to my silver fox doe. And I'm gonna do both of those today, because what I expect is that I won't get babies out of the New Zealand Flemish cross giant, because I don't think my male's fertile anymore. I think that was really a problem with him. I don't expect to get babies out of her, but I want to give him one more shot just in case. And I expect to have babies out of the New Zealand, or excuse me, the silver fox doe and the new buck, because, you know, why wouldn't you expect to have that? He's a young buck, he's right about a year old, perfect breeding age, she's a proven doe. I should get good results out of that, and I want to give my old buck one more chance before I get rid of him. Wouldn't mind having a couple more of his babies around for just a little bit longer. And then he's going to probably just go up for giveaway on Craigslist. So let me get to this. You guys can watch as I breed rabbits if you want to. I know you've seen this before, but hey, why not watch again, right? First things first, I'm going to start off with the silver fox doe here. Let me get her in the cage with the other guy and see if we can't get them breeding. There we go. That's okay. That's okay. It's okay. All right, there we go. Oh. And looks like success so far. He's going right to the task. See if she'll lift for him. There we go, one fall off. All right, well, I've got one successful fall off in there. I'm gonna leave them together for a little while longer, see if I can get one more, and I'm gonna go ahead and breed the other 2 here. Yeah, hey there, sweetheart. It's okay, it's okay. Come on, you're okay, you're okay. Come on, let's go. Oh, get back in there. Turn around, you got a girl in there. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but boy, fertile or not, he's still just ready to go. She's up in the corner. You got to give off her for a minute. Let her get some room here. Come on, move. Come on, get off of her. Just hang on a minute. There you go. All right, well, I've got one successful fall off from each one of these guys so far. I'm going to leave the females in there just a little bit longer because the males are still interested, and see if I can get 2 successful fall offs from each of them. And then I should have babies in about 30 days. Stay tuned. I'll let you know how my experiment worked out, and say goodbye to the California buck over here, because he probably won't be here in the next video. He's probably going to be somebody's pet at that point. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know if you've had similar problems this year, what you're doing about it. And as always, God bless.